So let's talk about The Culling, one of the most infamous, disgraced video games I've ever seen. It's a battle royale franchise that started off pretty well, had some strong legs, and there was a loyal community behind it until the developers tarnished all of that. So a brief history. The Culling was announced back in February 3rd, 2016 with the following trailer, and you can see just from the likes to dislikes ratio that people liked what they saw, and this is one of the first battle royales. I believe this came even before PUBG and Fortnite, and people generally enjoyed this experience. But then after the game launched on early access, a lot of people just didn't like the patches that came out for it. It had a pretty good start with 12,000 players, but over time, the player base dwindled quite a bit until we got to, the double digits, and we see a resurgence here and there, but for the most part, you can see that the players just kind of moved away from the game after a series of bad decisions in terms of how they changed the game and some of the updates that they made. It reads right here, fans of the Culling were very disappointed when it came out of early access in October 2017 and got 2 whole months of support before Xaviant stopped development entirely and moved on to a sequel no one was asking for, is really the best way to summarize this. They abandoned the first game without really bolstering it, without fixing the mess that they had made, and so fans were pretty upset when they found out about The Culling 2. It reads right here, The Culling 2 is out tomorrow and fans are not amused. This is from July 9th, 2018, and you can find the trailer for that right here. Here's GameSpot posting this, and you can see from the likes to dislikes ratio just how unamused people were by this game, and matters were made worse by the fact that The Culling 2 was more of a ripoff of existing sort of battle royale titles at this time, like PUBG was getting popular, and it felt like they were trying to replicate the popular battle royales rather than building upon the unique identity that they had established with Culling 1, and so people just absolutely hated this. It was technically just really flawed, just woefully unpolished. The game just kind of looks like garbage. It doesn't look like much effort was really put into it, and so when the game came out, not a lot of people played it. You can read right here, only 154 reviews were posted for this title, and the reviews are at very negative. So undesired was this title that there was really not a lot of players even at launch day. It was extremely difficult to find a game with a decent amount of players. And here is an article from July 13th, 2018 that talks about how the Culling 2's Battle Royale flop forces difficult discussions about future of the developer. Just 2 active users in the last 24 hours. This is just a few days after Culling 2's launch. There were just better Battle Royales out there at this point in time, and the initial fan base of the Culling kind of moved on after how tarnished the Culling became, both the first game as well as the undesired sequel. And so the Culling 2 eventually shut down on July 18th, 2018. It was announced that the Culling 2 would be no more. The game just went completely offline. They issued refunds, and that's because nobody was playing the game. There was just no point in keeping this game online. And so just like that, only a week after the Culling 2's launch, the title was kaput. And that brings us to this message from Xaviant, in which the director of operations, Josh Van Velde, apologized for how they handled the Culling 2, promising to go back to the Culling 1 and fixing that game. People seem to think that he had good intentions, and so the likes to dislikes ratio here is generally pretty positive. People seemed optimistic about the future of the Culling. But then, as the months went by, interest for that game dwindled, with other battle royales rising, and so on March 18th, 2019, it was announced that the Culling would be going offline in mid-May, so the very first Culling title was also kind of killed off unceremoniously, and nobody's missing this franchise. And so this is where we stood until the Culling made a return. So here is a tweet posted on May 12th, 2020. It reads right here, "The Culling is back," and here's a GIF that's sort of celebratory in nature, as if to suggest that people are cheering for this disgraced franchise's return. Nobody really cared, but the way this franchise made a return, it is perhaps the most embarrassing return, the most embarrassing revival I've ever seen. And for Xavian to believe that this is the way to do it, and for them to believe that this is something to cheer at, that they will be met with applause, it's, you know, you would think this is some kind of out-of-season April Fool's joke, but I guarantee you it is not. They're deadly serious when they say, Too Long Didn't Read version, servers live Thursday, May 14th, Xbox One now, PC later, so it's only out on Xbox One for now. Big performance enhancements, not FTP or free-to-play, but if you ever played it, you have it. $5.99 on Xbox Store if you never played it. One free online match per day. Additional tokens options available. Here's the trailer for the Culling's return, for those who haven't seen it yet. You can see that this trailer has been disliked to hell, and there's a good reason for that. Aside from the fact that the game still kind of looks like dog shit, there's the monetization model that they've introduced with this title, which is, it's something. It's something. You know, you think that companies like EA and Activision and all of these greedy companies have kind of reached the apex of ridiculous monetization schemes, but oh no, here comes Xavian to challenge all of that with this monetization system right here. Here's the statement provided via press release to various outlets. The Culling is one of the pioneers of the Battle Royale genre, and even today it stands alone as a unique up-close and personal combat experience. We get messages every day from players who want the Culling to come back, and for the last several months we have been working to make that happen. Really, every day, people begging for the Culling to return. Press X to doubt. Our new approach focuses on sustainability. We've optimized our systems to keep server costs low, and we have shifted our monetization approach to ensure that players will be able to visit the island for years to come. Oh, no, this game's dead in the water. There is no years to come. There is no future with the Culling Origins, as this revival is being called. It's dead in the water because of your just piss-poor decisions surrounding all of this and the utter greed and audacity surrounding this release. If we scroll down, we have a bullet point list of things that they added to the game, so let's check this out. Players can play one free online match each day. Players can play additional matches through the following means. Winning an online match grants an online match token. Packs of online match tokens can be purchased. 3 tokens equals 99 cents, 10 tokens equals $3, 20 tokens equals $5. Online passes providing unlimited online play can be purchased for 7 days, $1.99, or 30 days, $5.99. So what's going on here, ladies and gentlemen, is that on top of that initial $5.99 entry fee you have to pay in order to even gain access to this game, on top of that, you've got a pay-to-play system that forces you to purchase tokens that you have to spend in order to play additional matches after that initial free one. It's basically like putting quarters at an arcade, and you can get another free match if you win your previous match. But guess what? The chances of that are pretty minuscule, given that this is a battle royale and there's only one survivor in every match. So at its very core, this is very much a pay-to-play game. There is a fee to just enter matches, essentially. It's not even pay-to-win, where you get to play the game, it's just the chances of you winning are low unless you spend money in order to enhance your abilities and the like. It's not even that. You don't even gain access to the game unless you pay. And then a secondary option is what is essentially a subscription model. 7-day access is $2, and a 30-day access pass is $6. They expect people to pay $6 every month in order to play this garbage. Even if this were free to play, this system would be insulting. But the fact that you even have to pay that initial $5.99, that initial $6 fee to gain access to the ability to pay to play, this is the kind of thing you'd expect people to joke about, except Ladies and gentlemen, this is reality. This is a real monetization scheme for a video game that was already disgraced. This is how Xaviant believes they'll win back the hearts and minds of people who were disillusioned at the direction the Culling took. Let's read the additional bullet points. The game no longer includes premium items or charges for crates. Players can level up, earn crates, and unlock airdrops through offline play. So they're saying, hey, all of that other monetization we did, all that's gone, except the system you've introduced is far worse than that. At least if you do, loot boxes with cosmetics, you still have access to a core game. What's locked away is the rewards in an egregious manner, but with the case of this Culling Origins, the entire game is locked away. It's paywalled behind a per token fee or sort of this subscription model fee. Again, even pay to win is better than this because with pay to win, you get to play something. A longer version of all of this information can be found on Xaviant's official website with the headline, "It's back." Like anybody wanted this. This guy's just sort of patting himself on the back under the delusion that people are just craving for the next Culling experience. And right here you can read everything you need to know about the information that I just went through. And here's a link to a video in which the director of operations himself, Josh Van Velde, addresses the community talking about how happy he is to see the Culling return and explaining everything I just detailed. Unsurprisingly, the likes to dislikes ratio seen here is pretty freaking abysmal. 456 likes to 21,000 dislikes. And scrolling down here, you can read some of the comments, including, "There were some big hurdles in our way. Yeah, now there's just one steep cliff. You guys were asking for us to bring back the Culling. Me, no. We have a payment plan, $5.99 a month. Me, no. We'll see you on the island. Me, go to hell," etc., etc. EA, write that down. Write that down. Is this guy high or something? He looks like kind of out there. This situation would be so much more sane if this guy were actually high, but he actually came up with this entire monetization scheme in sound mind and body. He is literally just delusional in believing that this is the way to revive a disgraced title. You're not the clown, bruh. You are the whole goddamn circus. They got balls, I'll give them that. Not only did they make this video, they still haven't disabled the comments or ratings on this video, etc., etc. You get the idea. People are not happy at all about Josh Van Velde's insulting sort of presentation of this new Culling game, believing that anyone will fall for this con. Now, Josh claims in this blog post, as well as in his video that basically reads this blog post line by line, that the determining factor for this monetization scheme was the expenses surrounding running this game. So it reads right here, "We want to tell you that it wasn't a simple matter of turning it back on. There were some big hurdles standing in our way. Running a free-to-play online game can be expensive. The bigger your player count, the more you spend on servers and back-end services. When the Xbox version went free-to-play, we brought on 1 million players in just a couple months. You have to have a working monetization scheme to pay for everything." I love how he calls it a monetization scheme, which I guess is the appropriate name to give this. He's not even trying to hide the fact that this is very much a scheme rather than a fair business model. The Culling didn't have that. We do want to say that we really appreciate everyone who did spend money on the game when it was free to play. Your support is what kept it running for as long as it did. The bottom line was that our approach of selling crates and cosmetics just wasn't working well enough and couldn't sustain the game long term. We knew that if we were going to bring the game back to life, we'd have to make some big changes to our model. Dude, the big issue with the Culling is that it didn't have any players because you guys kept messing up the game and botched the goodwill surrounding that franchise that had a good start before your updates for the first Culling game ruined the game, and then you try to copy other more popular battle royales with a worse version via Culling. 2, you messed everything up, you lost your players, and that's the reason your game wasn't making money. The fact of the matter is that you don't need a monetization scheme in order to keep a game alive. You need players who are willing to support you and give you money via a fair business model and transaction, whether it be through just a direct purchase or through a microtransaction system that feels fair and that doesn't feel like it's constantly nickel and diming you, like it's constantly gouging you. If this business model is fair and if the game is good and if you show respect to your community, guess what? The money will flow in. That's what you don't have. You don't have respect for the community, you don't have a good business model, and you don't have a good game, a game that keeps up with the times. You don't have a compelling Battle Royale experience that people would want to play instead of all the other stuff out there. Have you thought about maybe, making a good game that people are happy with? Is that such a crazy concept? And look, I'm not saying that games aren't expensive to make or that online games aren't expensive to run, but guess what? Many similar games face the same challenges, and they find ways to overcome that without having players pay for every match that they play online or pay a monthly fee for a game that doesn't justify that kind of price point with how low the quality bar is. You have to convince people that your game is worth the money, and the Culling, I'm sorry to say, does not meet that bar. You're putting such a heavy focus on how do we monetize the game rather than how do we make the best game possible to bring in players. That should be the focus, the mindset. The fact that you're prioritizing monetization speaks volumes about your priorities and why this game is failing and why it will fail. Plenty of news outlets are equally baffled with headlines like "The Culling is back with a ridiculously greedy monetization scheme." "The Culling is coming back with an absurd business model." "The Culling is back and makes you pay to play more than one match per day." Battle Royale game, The Culling returns with a ridiculous new business model. The Culling Origins has weird one free match per day restriction. The Culling rises from the dead a second time with new pay-per-play monetization model. I think a more accurate label is pay-to-pay-per-play, referring to that initial price point you have to shell out to gain access to the ability to pay for every match. Ridiculous. And then right here we have a post on the gaming subreddit with 21.9 thousand upvotes with a headline that reads, "Laugh my ass off. Paying real money for every match you play. This is the stuff we joked EA would do. Can't believe it's a reality now." And you can see right here that many people are in agreement, judging by the 97% upvoted rating. On top of all of these various comments with thousands of upvotes talking about disgusting free-to-play business models that have been employed on mobile titles. But again, this is a free-to-play model that isn't actually even free-to-play in that there is an initial fee. Even by free-to-play standards, this is horrendous. But the icing on top is that initial fee they're charging for this game. This guy right here, Josh Van Veld, he's lost his damn mind. This guy does not have a grip on reality to believe that this would all be welcomed with open arms. And then you look at the trailer itself for the return of the Culling, and it still looks fairly low effort. It still looks pretty uncompelling, especially compared to some of the more kind of popular Battle Royale experiences out there. It really isn't hard to spot a game that was created with a very cynical mindset, and the Culling, it is prime example number one. It is Exhibit A. This is the work of a delusional mind. It is delusion layered on top of a complete lack of shame. For this guy to believe that any of this will work, it is insulting to the intelligence of anyone with the most basic semblance of common sense. Just what is wrong with you, Josh? What the hell's wrong with you? All right, that's all I have to say. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on the revival of the Culling. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.